Module 11, Problem 9. Running out of fingers there. I'm Adam Blugerman, and I have this problem. And what it is a question about interest rate, specifically interest rate that is compounded quarterly. It has a question about how long it would take for $5,000 to grow into $7,800 with 7.5% interest. Now, how do you solve this? Well, you see that equation in the bottom right there? That is your key to solving this. All you have to do is plug in the variables. The A is the amount of money that you will get at the end, which is $7,800, because it's addressed how much until $7,800. P is the amount of money that you start investing with. That is $5,000. It's $5,000 growing to $7,800. And then moving on, R is the rate. That is the interest rate. However, you have to change the decimal, so that is no longer a percentage. So 7.8 becomes 0.075. And then N represents the amount of time that it is compounded. So in this case, if it's quarterly, N would be 4. And then the only thing we have to work out is T. Now, if you see at the top here, I start plugging in some variables. And what I end up doing is I can solve it up to a certain point. It's just simple algebra up to a certain point, and then I get stuck. How am I supposed to solve 1.56 equals 1.01875 to the 4t? That's a very tough thing to solve. How are you supposed to do that? Well, it just so happens that it's conveniently set up for a logarithm. And how you solve this with a logarithm is you have to know how to change an exponential equation into a logarithmic equation. And how you do that is you have to remember logarithms are made to isolate exponentials. So you see your 4t, you know that you're going to have to move it over so that it's isolated by itself. And what you do is you take the number that was previously on the other side and you move it to this position in a logarithmic equation. And now when I get here, I have no variables, so I can solve this absolutely, and then I leave my only variable on the other side. This is the time that is best to use logarithms. When I get to this point, then I get a solid number, and then I can continue with algebra until I get t equals 5.98 years. And so it will take 5.98 years for $5,000 to grow to $7,800 when the interest rate is 7.5%, and it is compounded quarterly.